That's why we're talking about the NFL's hostile takeover of Christmas. Like, the NBA should realize its situation, find a little dignity in admitting its situation, and not even bother to compete against the NFL. A slow news day in the NFL is now officially a bigger story in sports than opening day. Yesterday was opening day, and if you go to ESPN.com's front page right now, you will find but one story of Major League Baseball in their headlines. And the story is very nicely about A's fans and the protest that they staged in the parking lot. So again, the NFL is so dominant that its slowest news day of the year is still a bigger deal than opening day. And I come from a world where that could have never existed. Like Larry and I talked about this 20 years ago. You're telling me that a slow news day of off-season NFL whatever is going to be a bigger deal in the world of sports than opening day? Like, there's no way. There's no way. But that is the reality that we live in. I mean, like, nothing in sports matters even infinitesimally as much as what's going on in football. Nothing going on in football. That's why we're talking about the NFL's hostile takeover of Christmas. Like, the NBA should realize its situation, find a little dignity in admitting its situation, and not even bother to compete against the NFL. Wanting to compete against the NFL is making the choice to die. That's the way it is in entertainment these days. There's football and forget everything else. And then if there's no football, maybe something else has got a shot. But it's incredible. It really is. And it's not just like a theory anymore. Like, I can prove it in thumbnail response and what people care about. And I'll tell you, I get more questions about football season during baseball season than ever before. And it's not just because the Niners were in the Super Bowl. It's not just that. It's just that's how important it is in the daily conversation that all sports fans are having. It is football first, second, and third, and then we'll see if anything else comes in 4 through 10. I don't know how much value there is to any of it, but we got some sour grapes to go over. First of all, Brandon Ayuk is talking with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco in a podcast form. And Brandon Ayuk comes to say, you know, he wants more money. There's not a lot of there in the back and forth between them. But of course, Brandon Ayuk wants to be paid market rate. And of course, the 49ers want him to pay market rate. What I don't understand, or want to pay him market rate to a point, but they have a cap that they've got to be working under, and it's all got to fit together. I believe that they have done everything to signal that they really want to get this done. But Brandon Ayuk is still playing that hard to get, treat me right, kind of angry about the whole thing, public demeanor. And I don't know why there's any public negotiating going on at all. This should all happen behind closed doors. There should be no announcement of any anxiety or anything. I think it makes you look weaker than it does look stronger. Again, just keep off Instagram. You pay your agent to do what they do. Parag Marathe is paid by the Niners to do what he does. In the history of Kyle Shanahan's Niners, there's never been a player they really want back who they haven't found a way to get back. So everyone could just take a breath, let the process happen, and understand that this isn't going to happen on Brandon Ayuk's timeline. It's going to happen on the 49ers timeline. And I think when it's all said and done, you're going to find Brandon Ayuk back with the 49ers. So I don't know why he would go forward and let you know that he feels that he's not happy with the way things are going when he could be straight up kumbaya, everything is awesome, you're back. I just don't understand it. Now, Eric Armstead is in a little bit of a different boat because he's not coming back, and he knows that. And the manner in which he was sent out is rubbing him the wrong way. The other piece is that Eric Armstead says that he felt disrespected by the 49ers, who came to him and offered him a $6 million one-year deal with incentives to take it to 8. He says, when they sent that over, I did feel extremely disrespected. I don't feel like that level of compensation is nowhere near the player I am. Fair enough. But That's the kind of pay that you would send to a guy who's just kind of another defensive line player. And that's what Eric Armstead has become. Again, he was never a Pro Bowler. He was never a first-team All-Pro. Eric Armstead was a good football player, and he played well in bigger moments than he shrunk in them. I got nothing bad to say about Eric Armstead, but if we talked about the best players in football today, Eric Armstead would not come within a country mile of that conversation. The 49ers might have, he feels, disrespected him in that offer, but what they're basically telling him in that offer is your services here are no longer part and parcel of what we think needs to happen to win it all next year. And Eric Armstead says, look, I'm not just the average guy. I don't just show up and get my work in and go home. I am, I'm diving into film. I am a guy who sets the tone. Larry has gone on record saying Eric Armstead is one of the most respected 49ers players in that locker room. He truly is a leader, and he is. He was. There's no doubt about that. But here's the contract. Take it or leave it. We're not really negotiating anymore at your price point, at your injury history, at your time in this league. With the tread that's come off your tires, this is what we think you going forward is worth to us. And so the 49ers might have insulted him with that deal, but they also told him what he needed to know. You coming back here is more of a you want to, as much as it is a we really need you back. And so they gave him that opportunity, and I can understand how that would upset a player, but I'm not here for the sour grapes. I'm not. So why anyone would go public with all this? I mean, this is behind closed doors level of business that I don't know why you would go full on, I'm disgruntled. I don't know why. Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.